define a qualification, or some people refer to it as an award, as a affiliation body or national governing body user. So only the highest level users can define a qualification. We don't allow trainers and assessors to do this. We don't allow the public to do this. It's only your national governing body headquarter level users. So if you're below that, you will not see this button. So the starting point is to find qualifications. If it's not on your top tab here, you can go to the plus and then find it from there. We need to define a new qualification, so we click New Qualification. And we need to give this qualification a name, so we're going to give it a name there. And then we need to have an awarding body or awarding affiliation body. So that's whoever your organisation is. There might be a list of those. For this one, we're going to select SLSGB. You may have a code for this, depending on your coding structure in your organisation. It may have a certain target group that are involved with this. So you might want to set it to educator or deliverer, occupational type award, participant or public. This one we're going to set up as an occupational level award. So next you might want to say how many guided learning hours this qualification has. You need to define whether this is active here, so if it ticks active then it will display for other people to set training courses up for this qualification. You might have a fee associated with it that the national governing body charges. This isn't the fee for the training courses, it's the national governing body certification fee. How long it's valid for. This is important to type in the amount of years, because this is the thing that determines when your expiry notifications go to people who have become qualified, and then when their award expires they'll receive a notification dependent on this date. You may give it a description. You may have a certain family here for the SLSGB awards, not all awards have that. And then you may have a fulfilment house, so if there's a publication associated with this award, it might have a fulfilment house that needs to have its email address typed in there, and it will send an automatic email to them when the manual is ordered. Might put a maximum and minimum number of candidates, minimum age for the course, and whether both the public and full member or currently subscribed members have access to the award. If you don't tick this, only people who are subscribed members will have access to this award. Are there any prerequisites? So you could look up some other qualifications that are prerequisite. Then the assessment options. Now this is quite clever but also quite complex amount of things you need to look at here. So for every training course there's a process set up that when a training course is produced, it needs approval from a verifier. If you don't wish your training courses for this qualification to have to require an approval to start, tick this box. If you want the qualifications assessment to automatically be validated, so you don't require a verifier to verify an assessment after the assessor has marked it passed, then you would tick this one. Now, the other thing is some organisations require qualified trainers, qualified assessors and qualified verifiers to be in place. And until they're in place, you cannot progress with the course. If you wish to bypass these, so you do not require a trainer, or you do not require an assessor, or you do not require a verifier to be in place, then you would need to tick those boxes. We're going to define these today though. Now at assessment you could downgrade your award, so you could have this award but then allow them to transfer to another one at assessment if they don't meet all the unit criteria for a certain one. It increases success rate and people getting the most out of their qualifications. If you do, we'll get to where you define which ones they can be downgraded to later. If there's a timed swim, this could be part of your assessment in some of the bodies. Surf Lifesaving require this, and they in surf endorse, show that the award's been done in surf. And they might define an ideal ratio. Now, the next bit about assessment. Who can actually assess this? So, providing that you didn't actually say that you don't need to define your assessors, which we do have ticked, we'll untick that, then you may have certain requirements about your assessors. You may only allow the assessor to assess, or you may allow trainers or assessors to assess this qualification. The trainer and assessor could be the same. You might have to have 2 assessors. Each of these boxes may be relevant to your qualification. You may also look at having other qualifications that can assess it, so someone with a certain qualification. Here, if you put a course poster or a syllabus, an assessment form or an assessor resource pack, they go out in certain communications to candidates, trainers and assessors. So obviously the trainer and assessor need the assessment form. They might not need the course poster. So that's relevant to their communications. They only receive the ones they need. If you don't put it in, it doesn't show. And then there's updates or proficiency. So some qualifications require updating or a proficiency each year to be taken to show they remain in date. If they do, you would tick this. Some need people to be actively delivering training courses, so this system will pick up whether they've actually delivered training courses. If they haven't, then their award won't be updated. And then you can define how many people they have to have assessed if that's relevant. So a trainer type award may require you to assess 2 people, 10 people or something like that throughout the year. The inactive grace period is a period where this qualification has expired but still allows someone to use an update or proficiency to revalidate it for a certain period of time. So most qualifications set this as about 3 or 6 months. You can put this at a year, 2 years, however many months you wish. If this is an update or proficiency test, tick it here, because then it will show up where we'll see later to select as an award as a proficiency or update. And then you can look at how many years this award is updates for. So there's our award qualification saved. There's something that doesn't show on the original screen. It only shows when you then re-edit that qualification. And that's relevant to the things we've saved. So we might have an award that this updates. So this qualification may update this BKSA Test Instructor Award, perhaps. We're going to put it in for now. Make sure that's in there. And we will save this in a second. There might be other awards that you could downgrade to, so we might look at this free test qualification that we could downgrade to, and we'll say an ISA 2 just for this example. And we may have units associated with this qualification. And there's a number of units here, so this qualification might be made up of, it probably isn't, but let's make it up that it's got some oxygen, an oxygen unit in there that has a load of assessment criteria, this BKSA test unit, and this developing performance unit. So we'll save all those. That's your qualification done.